Yeah, you're not wrong, because they're kind of building this up to be the fight to end all fights. Like, this feels pay-per-view-ish in the best possible way. Um, so we knew a few days ago that we would be getting a Godzilla versus Kong trailer. I was not, for the life of me, expecting to like it as much as I do. Because holy crap, this is awesome. And maybe I like it because, going back to the wrestling theme, they're pushing Kong super hard as the babyface here. Kong is the good guy, and Godzilla is the bad guy in this movie from this trailer's perspective. We can dive into why we think that is. I've been very much not against this movie. The idea of Godzilla versus Kong is always going to be awesome, but I was not overly impressed with King of the Monsters. I thought 2014's Godzilla was just kind of okay. I like Skull Island enough, but this trailer, bro, we see Kong wielding a battle axe. I don't need anything else. I'm sold. However, I feel like now, after this trailer's come out, we can finally talk about the thing that I called 2 years ago, and I said in last year's predictions, and then some stupid toy company had to go and ruin the surprise, so I can't say that I called it anymore, because now people will be like, you just saw it in the toy leaks, or now, you just saw it in the trailer, but we'll talk about that and some theories in a little bit. But Michael, you're the big kaiju fan here. What you thinking about this Godzilla vs. Kong trailer?
I thought it was good. It's not, I will say with a heavy heart, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Not the biggest King Kong fan, but I sympathize with that storyline. I reject the premise. Like, I don't like the fact they have to fight anyway, which that could be certainly a part of the misdirection that we may talk about here in a moment. But as a trailer, it does its job so well, and I am glad that they are putting, I know this is going to be controversial, the monsters at the forefront of a monster movie. So
Well, at least in the trailer. This could be all
yeah,
the monster footage we get, and they just spend most of it with Friday Night Lights over there.
that's very true. I'm impartial. I'm impartial anyway. I actually don't mind some of the human characters, but I think there's a little more intrigue. I don't think this movie, it's going to be stupid in a sense that, like, this is like the cheap popcorn stuff, but I really hope the rest of America buys into this, because I want this movie to make money. I want the American audience just to turn a little bit, and based on the like to dislike ratio and the amount of views this has gotten, I know we don't know the breakdown internationally versus domestic, but it seems like people are enthusiastic, but maybe just the people are just desperate for a movie to come out that looks
Mm.
halfway decent, so it's getting a little bit of a pandemic bump. Either way, it's a strategy that HBO had. Let's move it up and get this thing out, baby. And I'm so happy. Like, I can't wait to go see this and take my dad, because it's my dad. My dad, he wants to go see it because he wants King Kong to lose, because
Uh-uh.
Godzilla is, yeah.
Nope.
I know. Just that's just my dad. Like, my dad's the older generation, grew up with Godzilla, loves all that source material. So, but see, here's the thing, is that the trailer did its job. He wants to go and see it, to see Godzilla like win, and so they're literally building this up like a wrestling match. So you have people on both sides who are like, Team Godzilla or Team King Kong. Like, I think that's brilliant. So hey, kudos to them.
Dude. Dude. Never a good idea to have a Jimmy Neutron brain blast on podcast, but I think that's what I'm having right now. Michael, what was the name of the last MonsterVerse movie that we got in this universe?
King of the Monsters, yes.
I think they've purposely just called him Kong so far. They haven't called him his proper name. So Godzilla is king of the monsters. Well, what happens when Godzilla, king of the monsters, gets beaten? Who is the new King Kong?
Yeah. It's very true, but I will say as a rebuttal, and I'm stealing this line, what is a king to a god? I don't know.
Well, we've already said Godzilla's the one that's going to die, probably.
Yeah.
So, you don't like the fact that Godzilla's the bad guy in this one, and I get that. One of my good friends is a diehard Godzilla fan. He's obviously pulling for Godzilla all the way in this fight. I love that the trailer gets us intrigued as to why Godzilla might be acting up here. Because we have 2 previous movies going, well, he's protected us, he's terrifying and will destroy stuff, but he'll destroy stuff for us. There's that intrigue there, but they don't, I was going to say, they don't entirely tip their hand, but they just couldn't help themselves, could they? Because,
Correct.
spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, this trailer absolutely 100% confirms to me the real problem, the doomsday, if you will, to the Batman vs. Superman that is Kong vs. Godzilla. Mechagodzilla. I have been calling it since before King of the Monsters and even before Skull Island came out. I remember having the conversation with you or Alex in college, I forget who, but I said the trajectory will more than likely be Godzilla, and then in the next one it'll be Ghidorah, and then the next one will be Mechagodzilla. I bet you anything that's the route that they take. And sure enough, the dude himself is in the trailer, not once, but twice. Mechagodzilla shows up in this trailer twice. Once, it's in the second shot of the entire trailer. I'm like, wow, you guys really could not wait. Kind of in the shot emulating the trailer for the 2014 Godzilla,
Right,
when they're
exactly.
in the bunker and the door's closed and you just get that quick little glimpse of him roaring. You can see up in the top corner what looks like a metal robotic head roaring. I'm going, so that's Mechagodzilla. Also, again, this is, if you haven't caught on yet, this is what was leaked by the toy company all those months ago that made me annoyed, just going, I was right, but now I can't gloat in the fact that I was right, because everyone's just going to think that I saw the toys. I wouldn't be surprised if Mechagodzilla is the one doing these attacks, and that's why Godzilla's pissed, because everyone thinks it's him. I've heard some theories out there that Mechagodzilla is wearing some form of a Godzilla suit, and like a skin suit, like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, and is like framing Godzilla. But I'm going, that sounds a little hard to believe that you would have skin to go over a mechanized Godzilla. But somebody brought up a really good point. I think it was 3C Films, one of my favorite YouTube channels, that he mentioned in the trailer when you see King Kong, because I'm going to call him King Kong because he's king, when he's wielding the axe, what if he chops into Godzilla's face, and it like starts to peel away the mask, and half of his face is Godzilla and half of it is Mechagodzilla when the mask starts peeling off, and as the fight goes on, it becomes more and more mechanized before the actual Godzilla shows up to fight. I would be down for that. I feel like some people might feel cheated that maybe Godzilla's fighting, that Kong is fighting a Mechagodzilla as opposed to the real Godzilla, but I think at the end of the day, it's really Kong versus the real Godzilla before realizing, oh, Mechagodzilla's here. That's who the real threat is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this, yeah, Mechagodzilla's gonna be part of it, and I wouldn't even, honestly, I wouldn't even rule out Mecha Ghidorah in this case because the terrorist group in the recent film, they have the technology to do it. They have the brain of the severed Ghidorah head, and they have, you can't rule out mind control either because Monarch was using the mind control and the frequency, like I would say, interrupter in King of the Monsters. They're proven that humans could do this. So there's anything from mind control, and then there's like aliens. Like there's the one shot in the trailer where Kong is about to put his hand on that rock and you look in the background. There's like a spaceship in the background too.
Spaceship.
Yeah, we already know that there's aliens because Ghidorah was an alien. So there's like 3 different things of like it could be aliens, it could be, yes, obviously Mechagodzilla, which I think is most prominent. The one thing that doesn't strike me as right is is the banner poster here. They're standing on top of the aircraft carrier, and I know that Kong has grown and they've mentioned that, but that does not look like a full size Godzilla to me at all.
Yeah, they both look like they shrunk so they could fit onto the aircraft carrier.
Yeah. This doesn't look massive, and if you guys want any sort of proof to this, go back and watch King of the Monsters or the first Godzilla. He is skyscraper tall, and Kong here doesn't look like that. Even on the boat, he doesn't look skyscraper tall. So here's what I think is going to happen. And I know it might very well seem cheated, but I think because of this introduction of potentially having Mecha Ghidorah a part of this, is that Kong is going to be fighting Mecha Godzilla majority of the time, in my opinion. And I believe the real Godzilla will show up, and he will end up saving Kong in a fight. That's just my prediction, but he will be much bigger than King Kong. It won't be close. It'll be like, okay, yes, and Kong's more agile, more quick than Godzilla, so he can use a lot of stuff, climb on buildings, use tools, which Godzilla can't do. But the real Godzilla is going to be towering over Kong, but he's going to help him defeat Mechagodzilla, and then Mechaghidorah is going to be there as well. So it will be a team up. But even in the shot here, I don't think that's real King Kong in my opinion. So at least that's what I'm hoping for, because Godzilla is a good guy, and I don't want the stupid mind control. Don't tell me mind control is a part of the plot. That's like the lowest common denominator. I don't want to see that.
Really?
Yeah.
Godzilla, mind control.
Yeah.
You act like it's a foreign concept to the franchise. Godzilla has gone to weird places, dude. He's fought a killer plant. Mind control is not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's mind control either, but you can't rule it out.
I know.
I think it's interesting how quickly they made Kong the sympathetic babyface here.
Sure.
I appreciate the great care and detail. I'd be curious if Toby Kebbell still did the voice, the motion capture for it, like he did with Skull Island, of when the aircraft carrier is getting attacked. He actually emotes pretty well when he has that look of concern. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm on your side, dude. I hope everything's okay. And he's formed this bond with this girl, which is more or less kind of like a repeat of what they did with 11 from Stranger Things and Mothra to a certain extent. So interesting that they're doing that again, except just without the sonar. This trailer was awesome, minus the Ghidorah, the pretty obvious Mechagodzilla. I mean, not Ghidorah, the pretty obvious Mechagodzilla teases and straight up admissions that he's in this. It did what a trailer's supposed to do. It converted me, who wasn't excited for this movie due to the last one, and made me excited. This looks awesome. I cannot wait. It's just unfortunate that most people are going to have to watch this at home, which is where we're going to disagree. I don't think this movie's going to make its money back, just because I think so many people are going to opt for watching it on HBO Max, which that money probably goes more to AT&T than to Legendary. So they're going to need a lot of new subscribers in order to make that money back, which I don't see that happening. I see people watching it for sure. I don't know if necessarily they'll keep HBO Max after that, because this is still coming out in March, and I don't think the world is magically going back to normal by March, because it's such an effects-heavy movie, and because they've had to delay it so many times. The budget for this is probably really, really high. I think they were just like, we need to get this out there at some point. We need to get ahead of all these delays, which we'll talk about next as my heartbroken sadness continues on. I don't think this will make its money back, but it won't be a testament to the quality of the movie this time, good or bad. It'll just be, it just got dealt a bad hand. So the odds are very, very slim that it makes its money back, just because of how expensive it's, I'm sure, gotten at this point.
Yeah, I think that's probably the safest bet for sure. It's most likely. I will say that I think it does make its money back because I know it's 2 months away, but there are a lot of signs in a lot of states that they are opening up, and I think people will want to see this. I think people want to get back to theaters anyway, and if they have the opportunity, they'll want to see this on the biggest screen possible. So I have hope. I have hope there. I do have questions for you. I do have questions.
Uh-oh.
If this does succeed, if this does end up turning a profit, do you think, or where do you see them going? Because they haven't announced any other films past this, and so that's the first question. Then let's do the other one. If it doesn't succeed, is this the end of the MonsterVerse?
So, here's where I have some unpopular opinions. I think success or failure, this is the end of this timeline. I think this is it. I think they've swung for the fence 3 times, and say what you want about the quality, but none of them so far have been home runs. They've been, at best, pretty solid doubles. They have not resulted in the box office that Warner Brothers or Legendary has hoped for. They've tried it a few times, which is smart. They didn't just give up after one movie, DC. They tried it a few times to try and make it work. I think this is the end of this continuity. If they have to continue it on, they will continue it on with Kong, not Godzilla because America 100% owns the right to Kong. They can keep using that one, whereas Godzilla, it's a much trickier situation of it's like Spider-Man in the MCU, except on steroids in terms of what you are and are not allowed to do with the character. So if it was to continue on, it would probably just be with Kong and no one else. But I think win, lose, or draw, this is probably the end of this incarnation of the MonsterVerse and might get rebooted again in a few years.
Yeah, I think, it's sad to say, is like I love Godzilla, and I think they have done him very well. At the end of the day, we'll have gotten 3 movies with him in like 6 years, 7 years, which is actually really cool. And be able to see this creation from an American perspective with the attention to effects, and actually they've done a decent job with a character. I think he actually has character. You can sympathize with a giant lizard. At least I can, and that's more than I would have gotten 7 years ago. So I think that's great. If they do continue, I think you need to use him sparingly because I think you could easily get burned out on him. It's kind of like the T-Rexes from Jurassic Park. You cannot overuse them. You can't overuse the impact tremor, because the impact tremor, that sound effect, that oh my gosh, what's about to happen, that will always bring chills. But if it's just a gimmick, then it's going to lose its weight and its power. I guess weight, no pun intended. So with Godzilla, I hope we get him back, and with the same care and the same passion that we've gotten him in this particular universe. But I had to ask you because you say, Nate, you put on a tinfoil hat all the time, but I'll give you a lot of credit, man. And for those who may doubt, you absolutely called this in college. Like he is not lying to you. We had these discussions, so you have a lot of credibility, and I wanted to ask you, not because you're not a movie insider, but I swear some of the information you get, it seems like you have inside sources. So I appreciate it, man.
I know a guy. The guy is me, and I'm just a good guesser.